And welcome to episode 171 of the DayZ Podcast. We've got a little bit of a time zone issue. Cobra is on his way. Our returning co-host, Project Lemons, I'm guessing he didn't know about the new time either. But the main thing that we have right now is our guest, the one, the only, OlipollyZ. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad for 5 a.m. in the morning, mate, but thank you so much. I love that G'day logo there, Teabag. That is pretty cool, man. Who's that one from? The app that I'm using to do the stream, it doesn't show the like the text that makes up the logo, but yeah, good to see you in here, chat. OlipollyZ Azalea Map, mate.
Yes.
Tell us about
it. So the map is inspired by a place in outside Portugal.
Yep.
Called Azores, I think. And it's quite a small map at the moment. Had its first playtest, which went above my expectations. It went really good.
But you've been doing a good job promoting it, though, mate. Some nice trailers, and you've got a Discord for it, a website for it. You're doing everything you can to give it the best chance. And I don't think people will mind too much about a small map, provided it's done right. You've only got to look at Namalsk. It's by far and away the most popular modded map out there, and it's one of the smaller ones.
Yeah, I love Namalsk. It's been a big inspiration, along with Deer Isle and yeah.
Yep. So what got you into wanting to make a map?
I think I started playing DayZ a few years ago, and watching streamers got me into it. And then I watched John McClane, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
And I got very inspired by him making a map, making Deer Isle, and streaming it.
Yeah. That's another smart thing that someone can do, isn't it? Stream it like that, because it really can capture the community's attention as well, watching you do it.
Yeah, and I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. So I started, but it took a long time to learn it. So.
Yep. And where did you go for those resources?
I think Infusion, Discord, and Grandpa.
Discord. Yep. Big Grandpa's Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people say that. Yeah.
They do. But I always like to know. Cobra's just joined. I think he's just setting up his webcam. Yep, can hear you, buddy. The lovely big Intel logo there. But we've got you up for now.
I've just got the new rigging, the new 90, which I've been setting up for the last 6 hours. So all of these settings to set up. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be in and out, mate, because I've been trying to sort this out, and it's proving a bit of an issue right now.
Mate, tech is challenging at the best of times for me, mate. So I feel your pain.
So ignore me for a little while. Let me try and get this resolved, and then I'll be back in.
No worries. So yeah, it's great that there are places like Big Grandpa's Discord and the Modders Discord and all the rest of it to help people who want to learn about all this sort of stuff, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, it's not like what is out there is really good, but I think more is better. Like if there's more resources, that would be even better, because I feel like a lot of people still have a hard time figuring it out, and it's tricky to get started with building a map, I feel.
Because the question I have often is, what are the resources like officially available through Bohemia?
The wiki is good, but I think
The DayZ wiki.
there's like developer wiki, I think, but that alone would probably not be enough. So you have to like combine a lot of resources to be able to get where you want to go.
Yeah, look at these dogs in chat there, mate. Bloody that other lower quality podcast coming in here to steal the spotlight. Yeah, I see you guys, lads. Well, I love those lads. They just said they can't be here long. Is about to head out. Just wanted to say how much they enjoyed Azalea. Really looking forward to December, which is again just shows you're doing stuff right, mate. You don't have to worry about that. That's just made up drama. We love to poke at each other every now and then. I love what those guys are doing with their podcasts. They're just absolutely killing it, especially on Spotify. But yeah, no, I love that you've got that countdown for what is it, 26 days now? When I looked at it yesterday to the release.
Oh yeah. Updated it recently. It was set for the first day test, but then I changed it to. It's for myself also, so I can keep track of. Okay, this is how many days I have left to work on the map. I mostly do it in my weekends, time off, so it's not a lot of time to spend on it as I would like to have.
But I'm just going to bring it up now, just to show people the quality of your website, because these sorts of things really help.
Yeah, the website was very much inspired by Hashima, I think it's. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the guy who's Creepy, who's making the Hashima map.
Yeah,
inspired by Japan. He made a really good website, so I asked him for some tips and stuff, and very helpful. Even though this isn't the best design, but it's simple and it works.
No, I think it's a great design, mate. It's nice and clean and simple, and this lovely little countdown. Yeah, there we go, 26 days. So I love it. We've got a question in chat there from All the Smoke. Where are you from, Ollie?
Sweden.
Ah, okay. But you're not blonde haired and you don't have a big long beard with a thing in there.
Nope. I shaved the beard and yeah, I don't have blonde hair. Even though some of my friends wanted to make it blonde before, but no.
Yep. But no, so what's been some of the biggest challenges for you?
Like overall?
Yeah. Like it says in here, you've got the current size is 5 kilometers square, total map size 14 kilometers square, 4 tier zones, 1 contaminated zone, 823,000 objects placed.
Yeah, it's a lot of trees.
I've got to ask this: are you spinning the trees, making sure that they don't all face the same direction?
Yes, I got a lot of tips, advice from DOJ. After the I listened to the whole podcast with them, and I was like, "Oh, I need to talk to this guy," even though I felt like I bothered him, but he was very helpful. Very helpful.
He's an absolute fucking legend. I'm so excited for 1.23 with his magnum opus, the rework of the Northwest Airfield, which will really showcase just how talented the guy is. He's a lot more than just someone who spins trees and puts shit inside a bucket on Livonia.
Yeah, it sure is.
But you've got a number of other people listed in the credits as well. Chimney Live, Coco, Creepy Crappy Show, DanceOfJesus, Fustra, Nexum, Cabello Live, Loogie, Maddie, Mr. PMB77, Miss Moody, Rackaroo, Rhino, Lambo's 2N, and obviously Sumrak is your inspiration. But it's great to see a couple of names there, like Cabello as well. Matty, is that Matty Ice from Bitterroot?
Matty Ice, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, two guys making other maps. So effectively, when you boil it down, they're your competition. But you guys are working together. I love seeing that sort of stuff, Ollie. That's just
I love that too. Yeah. It's really helpful, and I try to help him as much as possible. Like make sure the playtest dates don't conflict, help out with stuff like different issues we run into. Yeah.
And you said you've got the Hashima guys as well, been helping you. Yeah, those maps that we can mention from that. Cabello with his Banov, Matty with Bitterroot, Hashima Islands. They're all textbook examples of how to launch a map. Like I've been loving some of the Hashima Islands trailers that they've been releasing. With that really cheesy Japanese ding 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 ding. And the characters dancing and showing off the Japanese anime sort of stuff. I'm not really into that anime sort of stuff, but I get it. They're creating a bit of hype. Even Teabag
sure.
just saying in chat there, Cabello is always happy to help. He's a nice guy. And Chimney Live's comment there: competition versus cooperation. Everyone's a winner if you all help each other out. You learn, you gain extra skills, and they might have a strong point that isn't yours, and you might have a strong point that isn't theirs. It's fantastic to see you guys all working together. Sorry, I was just typing in chat. Cobra saying, sorry, mate, I thought I had at least an hour and was going to go through setup, which is now causing issues. I can't get my webcam to work or my logo across and sound issues. And Project Lemon's also apologising, saying, don't sweat it, didn't see the new time as well. But yeah, no, it warms my heart, mate. Withy Warriors in chat there, we've been getting some great advice and help from the guys at Down Bad, cool people. So, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You are correct, Shuey. It wouldn't be a DayZ podcast without tech issues. So, you shared with me some screenshots, mate. So let's have a quick look at some of them.
Yeah, sure. I didn't want to give too much away, and to be honest, I've had a bit of a break. And a lot of stuff going on in real life or other stuff. So that's why the playtest would have been this weekend, but I postponed it 1 month. So more time to make it even better.
So talk us through what we're looking at as I bring up each image.
Okay. This is... I could show you in game, but this is one of the main roads, or it's the main road. Looking down at the water. It doesn't show a lot.
No, I think it's quite a beautiful looking little image, mate.
But yeah, I like how the trees are, and that's one example. I lined the trees up, had the same scale on all of them, and I showed DOJ, and he was like, "Oh, you need to rotate them more, tilt them a bit, do it like this." And I was like, "Oh, but I go by Google Earth quite a bit to get realism in and how it looks in the real place." And that's how I got some of the ideas from. And this is a new custom cabin. I got modeled by what's his name? Fishy, who does the buildings for Bitterroot.
Oh, okay.
He's really good at buildings. and it turned out great, I think.
But he would be someone interesting, I think, to get on in the future to talk to about the challenges of creating custom assets to DayZ.
Yeah. I would do that stuff myself, but it's like a whole new thing to learn, and he's so good at it. So why? Yeah,
it's obviously a mill base.
Yep, I'm working on it. It's a mill base on top of a mountain, and here's a custom helipad. The hunting area, which I put a lot of focus on for the next playtest.
Yep.
It was like a spawn zone, and the spawn zone had a bear that spawned when you spawned. And I remember a few people like running mass, and they got like attacked by the bear, and I was like, "Oh, what have I done?" And yeah, it didn't turn out too bad, but I realized I could have put more work into this place.
All the smoke asking in chat there, if using Google Earth, what area was the map based on?
Azores. It's São Miguel, I think.
Yep. Chimney's just written that São Miguel Island in the Azores.
Yeah, thank you, Chimney.
Yep. Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I tried to do a lot of stuff, like, as I said, based on the real place, and then from that, turn it into my own, or like adapt it to gameplay and DayZ, and how I can. Yeah.
That's nice.
Crocodile Island. And there's no crocodiles in the real place, but I thought it'd be fun to, because, yeah.
When you see a mod as good as Hunter's crocodile mod, you got to sit there and look, geez, how can I incorporate that? Because those crocodiles are amazing in that mod that he made.
Yeah, they sure are. Like when they come up to you, you get jump scares. The first time I added it to the server, I was like walking around testing stuff, and then there's a crocodile from nowhere.
Yeah.
And I've never seen.
And the swim attack is brilliant. Oh.
Yeah.
Again, that's nice as well. Nice old soccer pitch.
Yep.
That's a beautiful view, mate.
Yeah, I tried increasing the view distance, but this is only an editor that you can see this far. But in real life you can see this far, obviously, but not in DayZ. With the
And there we go. We're back to the start. No, that looks really, really nice, mate. I'm quite impressed with what you've created there, and it's great seeing what's his name, DanceOfJesus, giving you those bits of advice. That yes, he did talk about it in the interview I did with him. But it's great when he still just sends a reminder out, because it's obviously a lot to take in when you are creating a map. Is this the first map you've ever created?
I started with a really big map based on an island in Japan, but I realized it was too big and would have taken me years to complete it. But it was really cool. It was called Dogo Island, I think. It's like a round leaf-shaped island. And there was actually another map creator that was working on the same island at the same time, and I didn't know about it. And it was funny when we talked, and he was like, "Oh, this is the map I'm working on also." And then I was like, "Okay, I gotta change map." And I looked all over Google Earth, and I found. And I thought this was really cool, this place.
Again, that's just a nice thing of you to do. Oh, well, we're working on the same thing. I'll change and start something different. That's just, again, it's nice to see people doing that. No bad blood or anything. It's just like, oh, wow, that's a bloody funny coincidence. I'll just change what I'm working on.
Yeah, I think he also changed. So he realized it was too big. So he went for something smaller, which, yeah. I mean,
so how long have you been playing DayZ for?
I think, can't remember the exact year, but I think it was like 3 years ago. I started watching Smoke.
Yep.
On Twitch. And I was like, oh, I need to play this new DayZ standalone, because I played the mod a bit back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. And now I played a lot. But recently I haven't played that much, because mod, or like making a map, takes a lot of time, and that time has to come from somewhere. So
yep.
Unfortunately, the gaming hours has been decreased a lot.
Well, like Chimney's saying in there in chat, mate, you learn from the mistakes your first time around and you apply them to the second go around more efficiently. So, you had your play with the other island and obviously learnt a bit, and almost ended the stream then. I almost pressed the wrong button. I'm still getting used to all this. Like someone said earlier, it wouldn't be a DayZ podcast without tech issues. There you go. Shuey. It was Shuey who said that. Cheeky bugger. So do you do any other modding or anything, or is it just the one map that you started with?
No, it's just I like to focus on one thing at a time.
Yep.
Even though I'm very tempted to start a new map now, but that's not. Yeah, I think
the guest we had on just the other day is doing so many different maps at the same time, and I'm like, how do you focus on that? I'd be like you, mate. I'd just be I need to put all my attention on one thing.
Yeah, I think it's different people, but yeah, for me that works best, I think, to really get into it. And I think about the map a lot, or when I sometimes all day. Like, oh, I could do this here and that there.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I'm not working on it.
So what else can you share about the map with us? I know you're umming and ahhing about what to share, what not to share. Is there going to be like a lore behind the island? With like the Moles-like things to do, or some of the other maps like Banov that have gone with the alien sort of concept. Is there going to be any other lore that you can share, or none of that sort of stuff yet?
I haven't come that far with that kind of stuff. What I have is mostly on the website, and that's not a lot. So, but Chimney has offered help to help out with lore, and some other people, and it's definitely something I want to put more time in once the map is more.
I would reach out and ask people because it's a bit of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, is a saying that I like to say. There are some people who love the extra stuff, but I do also see people say, I'm not interested in that other sort of stuff. I just want to run around, find stuff and shoot people. But I think the challenge when you do a smaller map is you've got to have something there to keep people interested. I think that's part of what makes Demolsk so effective, being a smaller map, is that there is that goal of getting to Lantia that keeps some people moving and constantly flying around the map. Otherwise, it'd just be a shit fight up there in Vorkuta with everyone just runs out, get a gun, come back, and just start killing each other. So that adds that bit of diversity. But it's then the challenge comes: what can you create that's going to be different enough that people don't just accuse you of copying the Moles idea?
Yeah, that's true. And I definitely aim for doing a different kind of map and taking risks and stuff. Because there's a lot of height to this map, for example. So it's very sniper oriented, and yeah, so but it has a very big bunker that I added very early on.
Yep.
And that was the thought with that was to have like something to strive for. So you can't get in immediately. You have to like collect a key card or.
Now, Lemons has said he is joining, so he should be with us shortly soon. But what were you going to say there?
I would be happy to show some of it if.
Yeah, go for it.
What do you think is best, editor or in-game?
Whatever's going to be easier for you.
Okay.
Awkward silence. No, mate. Just waiting.
Yep. It's a good time to share now, or wait?
Yep.
Oh, that was share the socials. Share video. Stop video. Share there. The window doesn't come up.
And we're learning something new every time we do the show. Let me just check. Is there a setting that I need to turn on to allow you to
can share? I can share, but it doesn't show DayZ. Unless I do the whole screen. I could do the whole screen and just
try that.
Can you see?
There we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, I guess I don't need the F11. All right. Anything in particular you want to see?
Whatever you want to showcase.
Start with this existed in the last playtest though, but this is the entrance to the bunker.
Chimney saying ask you about the church.
Oh yeah. This is one of the places we looked at Google Earth a bit extra and tried to make it as close as possible to the real life place, and I think it turned out quite good. I think this is what Jim is referring to. Can you see it?
Yeah, can see it.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, a lot of people say they like this. It's inspired by Last of Us. I think this tells a story in a way, how it's this is what I want to do with the rest of the map to make it more lived in and like more eye candy stuff.
And you're doing all this on a laptop?
Yeah, I had a desktop computer, but I had to sell it because I had to move. And I kind of regret that I sold it because doing a map on a laptop is it's not
you're doing it hard mode.
Yep.
A lot of people didn't realize Sunrack made the mouse on a laptop.
Oh shit. I mean, it's doable. It's not impossible.
Now we are getting my voice echoing because you're doing the whole screen share.
Oh shit! Should I? 1 sec. This should fix it.
Okay. Yep. That's much better. Much better.
So yeah. Got these to cut down also. Custom bush. Azalea bush.
Does it give you a flower or something as well?
Oh wait. So it gives you this little flower.
It does.
Which I need to improve the looks of this. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell what it does because then I would be spoiling too much. But we have something for it. Yeah, this is pretty cool also. Over here.
Lemons, you can jump in whenever you're ready, mate.
This is the exact same bridge that is in real life place.
Well, there's been a couple of comments. Chimney saying there it's very identical to the IRL location.
Yeah, that's my goal, and I want to make it on the same like quality level as the real official maps. So I want to make it look as good. Maybe I can't make it the same level design wise because they're professional game designers and stuff.
And there's also limitations with the assets. You've got you can't obviously get everything custom made to look exactly like it is locally. That'd just be either insane amount of time or a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. And the guy that made the bridge, he surprised me with this. It's gonna be a map, but yeah, I have to fix it. What else?
So whereabouts do you spawn? Like, is it a co-spawn or do you spawn inland and that sort of stuff? For those who haven't played it.
The plan is to have it by the coast. I can show you a bit. But for now, it's like as far as possible from the center, which is like over there. But we had a bit of a problem with that during the first playtest, and like freshies coming up to geared people, and that's not like good. But it worked out fine. But the advantage with the height is that the views will get really good. Now it's a bit foggy.
And what's the climate like of the map?
Like Livonia, I think.
Yep, cold, freezing. No, just damp and wet.
Yeah. So in the real life place, it's like the weather is very unpredictable. It can storm and then it can be sunny, like very fast. Fast changes in the weather patterns. So that would be cool, and maybe have some weather event of some sort. Yeah. I don't know what else to show then. Don't want to spoil too much.
No, that's fine.
I could show the plan is to have it's like 5 by 5 now kilometers square.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite small. Down to the coast, it's quite a distance. This is very underdeveloped. But the plan is to have the coastal towns down here, and you can spawn all around the island, and then you walk inwards towards the center. That way, I guess it creates like a lot of interactions and PvP and all that. It's a bit risky doing something that hasn't been done in DayZ, but yeah, it'd be fun.
Nothing wrong with taking a chance, mate. Like they said earlier, you learn from your mistakes and you bounce back and you have a go at it in a different way.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time to finish all this, but I'm just taking it part by part, like Maddie does with Bitterroot.
Yeah,
I think he has a very good system. Like, do it. Yeah.
And I know you said before you took a break, but you got to do those things. There's still life happening around making something like this, and if you need to take a break for, just a mental health break, or if you've got too much going on in your personal life, you do you. It's not like someone's paying you to do this and there's a deadline and all the rest of it. You're doing this out of love for the game, so take as long as you need, mate. Obviously, you want to get it done sooner rather than later, but I don't think people mind. It looks like there's a lot of effort going into this, a lot of good names involved in helping you. So, would rather see it done properly than half-assed and it's not enjoyable to play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I realized that I was pushing very hard for the first playtest, and I was like, "Oh, this needs to be perfect," and all that. But then I realized, like, you need to take your time and not rush stuff.
Lemons, I just shared the link for the new program we're using in the podcast group chat, mate. So you can click on that, get yourself set up, and join when you're ready, mate. We don't use the Discord channel anymore. But yeah, mate, I'm excited. I am. We're very spoiled for choice on PC with some of these great custom maps, and it's great to see so many big name people involved in helping you and you helping them, and it's just like I said earlier, mate, it warms my heart to see this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very grateful for all the help I've gotten so far, and it's like a lot of people helping.
Yeah. You're not the only person who missed the start, Metalhead. Two of the co-hosts did as well. So, this, like someone said earlier, this bloody stupid daylight savings, I hate it. All it does is mess people up whenever there's a changeover period, and you get some areas that don't do it, some that do, and it's just I don't get daylight savings, but
I thought it was in 1 hour. Or 1 hour later.
It's why I say 1900 UTC, because that's universal time, that never changes. But everyone in their mind, you always recalculate that to what's that in my local time, and you always immediately just to go with the local time, whether it's daylight or not daylight savings, and it just messes people up all the time. But we shall move on then. Now, we got the release date for 1.23 next week, mate.
Yeah.
You excited for it? Have you had much of a look at it?
I've seen the Skybox. I haven't played experimental. But I saw the Skybox, the DMR, the airfield. It looks really cool.
It does. It looks like a really good, solid. I'm not sure if this will be the last one or whether there'll be another one before Christmas. But either way, if this is the last one, it's a good one to finish on, especially that Skybox. I've jumped in a few times in experimental Ollie and just looking up at the sky at the when it's night, and even I genuinely find that the daytime just looks better. The night's good, but I've just really enjoyed seeing those clouds, man.
Yeah, I really like that they focused on like the night sky with the stars and making that better, because I love astronomy. It's really fascinating.
Well, you'd understand just how bright the night sky is when you get away from urban areas where there's too much light pollution. It really stands out.
Yeah, for sure. And there's not much light in DayZ. It's
no,
so it should be bright.
Yep. If you ever get the chance, take a pair of night vision goggles with you when you go out and look up at the night sky with night vision. It's mind blowing just how many more things appear in the sky.
Oh, really? I've never heard of that.
Yep. No, I did that even back 20 plus years ago. With the old night vision from back then, you would still look up and it'd just be like, oh my God, there are so many stars.
Wait,
and they're all obviously way bright.
We're talking about real life.
Yeah, in real life.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. But no, definitely, it's definitely worth a try. But maybe you can answer this question because we've got the Skybox. And I don't know how detailed it is, but my understanding is that a lot of the stuff from DayZ is quite accurate to the real world. If you made a southern hemisphere map, will it represent the when you create a map, do you have to put in the coordinates of where in the world that map is located for the Skybox to be or accurate to that area? Like we had the Southern Cross in our night sky down here in Australia. You guys don't have it. But you guys have the some other astral bodies that we don't get to see because we're so far down, down under.
No, that's a great question. Yeah, I have wanted to look into it, but I haven't really spent the time learning about how to make those changes to the map. I know you can make it more accurate with the coordinates and all that, but I haven't done it for this map.
This is where we need someone like DanceOfJesus in chat to be able to answer a question like that.
I know he knows the answers for that for sure. I've seen it in the Discord. But I know there's something you can do with those coordinates that will break the map also.
Okay.
So, or yeah. I don't know if that's true though, but if I remember correctly. But that would be cool to make it like accurate in that sense with the.
But no, either way, I'm excited for next week and everyone finally be able to get their hands on the DMR and the new Northwest Airfield, and it's just I'm very, very excited for it. But the other big thing that happened during the week that we have to talk about, not really DayZ related, but you can't not talk about the day before trailer. Did you watch it?
Is there a new trailer?
Yes, and a release date. And oh my God.
Release date for, what was it again?
For the day before game.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring up the video now because
that game has like made a really poor reputation by they need to.
It's a classic example of there's so many different theories as to why it's been so bad, but yeah. Okay, let's just make it full screen so people who haven't seen it can watch it. And ready.
The Day Before offers a uniquely reimagined journey into post-apocalyptic MMO open-world survival. Artfully developed by Fantastic and brought to you by the publisher Mytona. The open world of The Day Before is beautiful and richly detailed, set in the present day on the U.S. East Coast, following a deadly pandemic. Engaging at all times, beautiful and richly detailed, set in the present day on the U.S. East Coast.
Okay, so you've been playing with maps of late. A question I'd like to ask you is, do you agree that it's beautifully rendered and detailed and all the rest of it?
That scene looks really good. Could be something out of The Last of Us or something.
Because I don't.
I think it's
to me,
Unreal.
it looks okay,
Unreal.
but at the same time, it doesn't look mind-blowing. This game was meant to be the DayZ killer, the next DayZ killer, and the best thing. But I don't know. It looks okay, but maybe it's just my inherent skepticism because of all the weird stuff that's happened around this game, like from not copyrighting the name, and then these weird volunteer systems, and I know a lot of that's just cultural stuff, but it's we'll keep watching.
Following a deadly pandemic. The game begins after you are rescued by the survivors of the Woodbury colony, your new refuge and safe home.
See, now even that, the stuff that's been coming out about the clear theft of IP from other titles, from The Last of Us, from The Walking Dead, it doesn't give me a lot of hope, Ollie. It makes me think that this is very shoddy and just slapped together with whatever they could think of. What's something that's a buzzword? What's something that'll catch people's attention? Woodbury. Oh, New Fortune. And
I guess
I don't know.
I mean. Yeah.
From now on, the doors of Woodbury will always be open to you.
But first, you will create your unique character. Select a personality, choose a gender, and customize every detail. Immersing yourself in our vision of post-apocalyptic America.
See, I do like the custom character creation. I do like that, but at the same time, it's never really been an issue for DayZ. Most people don't really care what their person, but I get that some people might. Role players will definitely love it. They can make themselves a bit more unique, scars and stuff like that to help with a bit of a backstory. But again, it's.
But you have the same character here. Even if you die, you keep your character, right?
Yeah,
I think.
In this game, I don't know. There's so much we don't know.
Are working to.
Sorry.
Nope. It's just like.
Rebuild the community, constantly needing supplies, building materials, and various items. Your main task is to bring as much valuable loot as possible. And in return, you'll be rewarded with the local currency known as Woodbury coins.
See, now I took this to be a bit of a mix of the Division / EFT, go in, get stuff, bring it out. A bit of State of Decay in looking after a community. Again, nothing really groundbreaking there. What did you think, Ollie?
I haven't played Division or any of the other games, but
I haven't played the Division either, but I knew of it. And, it's, you go in and there was the dark zone and things like that. And, you've got to get gear and then get it out. And
yeah, I mean, what I've seen so far looks okay. I would definitely try it. It's coming out.
Who the hell needs your junk?
Keep track of your health, hunger, and thirst indicators. And remember, dangers are everywhere here, ranging from the vicious infected to other players who are ready to take everything from you. We've designed survival in this world to be a thrilling experience. The weapons, which can be modified, are made with maximum realism to ensure that combat remains deep and engaging at all times. Each weapon boasts unique characteristics, as well as realistic reload and recoil mechanics.
See, now, I watched the clip of the weapons, mate, and that rifle did not look like it had a lot of recoil. They're talking about hyper-realistic weaponry and all the rest of it, but that looked very gamey to me. What was your take on that?
I'm not the best person to ask, but
well, just watch it. Yeah, you fired guns in DayZ. Like the SKS would probably be a good comparison.
Deep and engaging at all times. Each weapon boasts unique characteristics, as well as realistic.
There's literally no recoil in that. Just a very, very slight jump. And anyone who's ever fired a rifle from the standing position while moving, you don't. Yeah, I don't know. Lasyen is saying we are spoiled for realistic guns in DayZ though. But here we go. Our boy Lemons has finally joined the show. How you doing, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
Beautiful. How's it going, guys?
Good. Great to have you back on the show, mate. Great to have you back, even with the issue with the time. But it wouldn't be a DayZ podcast without technical issues, would it, Lemons?
Oh, absolutely. It's great to be back.
Lemons, the day before trailer. We'll continue watching this, and then I'll get your thoughts. But yeah. So quickly, what do you think about the weapon recoil?
I agree completely with what you were saying. Like, it just doesn't look realistic. Like, they're saying one thing, but the stuff they're showcasing just.
Yes.
I think the word you said, like, it looks. You said gamey. I think. Like, I totally agree with that. Like, it almost feels kind of like some of the older Call of Duty games, where it's just like it seems way too, I guess, kind of muted, like the recoil.
Yes, that's good. Good way to put it. Muted. I'll press play again. Realistic reload and recoil mechanics. I paused it on the screen. That is not a realistic recoil mechanic. Even watching, I was really hoping we'd get to see down the AR when they were shooting it, but yeah.
Reload and recoil mechanics.
Reload mechanic was great.
Completing various community tasks also presents an opportunity to earn Woodbury coins.
Well, who do I see here? How's it going, my friends?
Woodbury coins can be exchanged for ammo, from regular to armor-piercing, weapons, protective equipment, backpacks, food, drinks, and medicines. Spa access to relax, and a gym to work.
Can someone help me understand the spa?
I couldn't even start.
I look, actually, Ollie, you're probably a good person. Like, I know in certain areas of Northern Europe, like I think in Russia it's a thing where they have the spas and they use those little bushes to whack themselves and things like that. But it just seems like such an odd thing to put into a survival video game.
It feels like a bit like Grand Theft Auto, where you can do a bit of everything. But I don't go to the spa often. Gym sometimes.
Well, I did see someone point out, Lemons, about this is obviously related to attributes in the game, because you can see this little slide bar underneath the character. So obviously working out increases your strength maybe, or something like that. So that's kind of novel. I don't mind that sort of stuff. Now, Scum has a similar system. I do like Scums in that it's actually based on just what you do in the game. But that's if you want to play a game that has that. I've always said one of the things I love the most about DayZ is it's not about skill points and that you have in game. It just comes down to your pure ability and your experience at the game that separates you from everyone else, not whether you managed to. And these are always open for abuse. Like I used to see people when I had a server in Scum, they would be just sitting there laying on their guts, crawling against a wall because the amount of time you spent crawling on your guts improved. I think it was your stealth or something like that. So, yeah, it's a good game mechanic, but again, this is not a DayZ killer to me so far. It's a different genre to DayZ. Similar, similar games concept, survival in a zombie apocalypse, but a very, very different style. But yeah.
Workout. Safeguard your accumulated items by storing them in secure storage. Exchange Woodbury coins for cars to swiftly collect loot and access distant, hard-to-reach locations. You will receive your own ranch, where you can purchase and upgrade houses, as well as install furniture and decorations.
Now, we do know from DayZ, Lemons, that will be quite popular with people.
Absolutely.
People love to decorate their bases. Now, it's one of the biggest complaints about base building in DayZ is that there's very little choice in vanilla DayZ, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely going to add a lot more customization and, setting up your own kind of place and making that kind of feel your own. That's something you miss out on DayZ. One thing I want to comment on too, backtracking a bit to the the spa and all that kind of stuff is, although it does seem like a exciting idea, building up those kind of skills for the character, it seems way too static in the sense that you're forced to have to go to these fixed locations to build those skills. Whereas even in DayZ, we have soft skills in there, and you can do that wherever you want. If you're trying to work on base build, that'll build your soft skills, or if you're trying to harvest or cook things, that builds into those things. But you're not forced to have to go to a certain area. Whereas in this game, you have to go to these places to build those skills.
I didn't think we had that anymore. I thought they got rid of that in DayZ, the soft skills.
Oh, no, it's still there.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that because you just don't see that bar sliding anymore, or maybe the servers I've been playing on, you don't see it. But what do you think, Ollie?
Yeah, it's been a while since I did base building in DayZ, but it's
just more about this.
I like that you can. Yeah, I like that you can add your own touch to it and have the option to add.
I agree totally with Lemons though that the Scum system is much better, where it's just something you can do by just playing the game normally, not having to go and sit there in a gym holding a button while you work out. I think that's a bit of a miss idea, Lemons. I think you bang on the money with that.
It also reminds me of the old, if you ever play the old Grand Theft Auto games where you had to go to the gym and work out your character and San Andreas or one of those, but it just doesn't fit that cost that much.
The ranch serves as your cozy, safe oasis amidst the post-apocalyptic chaos. Welcome to the next generation of post-apocalyptic MMO open-world survival games like never before. Immerse yourself in the day before.
The day before, early access December 7.
What was that? Sorry?
I was just going to say, is it just me or does that broadcast voice, is that just AI? The whole time I was listening to that, that's all I could think about.
Look, what Ross just said in chat, I'm prepping myself for the microtransactions. I've been wondering that myself, whether, and look, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% against microtransactions, provided they're done ethically, in that it's not a pay-to-win game. But I don't know whether you could call it an open-world MMO when you have safe spaces for all your gear. There's no I know it's very early and it's going to release into early access. The cost for an early access game is ridiculous from what I've seen so far. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I want it to be good, Lemons, but it just there's too much. Where there's smoke, there's fire. They say.
All it looks like is they won money and they created a project to try and get as much money as possible. And when they actually got the money, they didn't know what to do because they weren't expecting it to happen and to catch that quickly. So then they were, they had their tails between their legs and they're saying like, oh crap, because they didn't even know what they're going to do. So within the time constraint and the money they had, they tried to do as much as they could, put as much together. And honestly, a lot of the features and the animations and stuff in there could just be stuff they bought off like the Unreal Marketplace.
Yeah. Yep. That again, did that look a bit like that to you, Ollie? Because you saw some of the assets they were using. Did that look like a lot of, easily available stuff that's out there?
It could be, yeah.
I mean, they definitely have the money for it, considering how much they got crowdfunded.
You can buy a lot of stuff from Unreal Marketplace.
And yes, Hunter, we are finally back on Twitch again. Now that Twitch allows multi-streaming, I am going to take advantage of it. I love multi-streaming. So we're back and with this new platform that we're using, we're actually streaming to 4 platforms: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. We stream on the DayZ Podcast Twitter. I deleted after the show, but just get out there to more and more people. Nothing wrong with doing that. Multi-streaming is good. But I don't know. I want it to be good, but I totally agree with what you just said, Lemons. It's kind of I really believe that they didn't expect it to get as big as it did, and then it was kind of like, oh shit, what do we do? And they're rapidly trying to I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to a real game after we do our quick sponsor read. Yes, folks, we are partnered / affiliate with Humble Bundle, and I picked a good one this week, one that might interest some of you out there. Humble Bundle have a realistic games bundle at the moment. And it's one that I've seen a lot of people in the DayZ community actually playing. Just one of those games that's quite similar to, DayZ, or not really. No one can actually go out there and find a real zombie apocalypse to live in. But part of the allure of DayZ is that you're doing a lot of things that you do IRL, and that's why this week I wanted to share with everyone the Living in a Simulation package. It's got a bunch of good games in it. The main one being Farm Simulator. I've seen so many people playing that one. Lemons, you?
Well, I played myself. It's definitely it's a fun kind of relaxing game. Just if you want to put time into it and just shut off, you can spend a few hours in that. Yep.
But it's got a whole bunch of different games in there, and it's as low as $35 Australian. So that's in dollary dues, the Australian currency. And that's about similar in Canadian, I think. Probably about $25 US, and probably closer to €20. Probably about the same in pounds or whatever. But yeah, you got firefighting simulator, garden flipper, house flipper, luxury flipper, builder simulator, fresh start, electrician simulator, Juno, New Origins, and Lumberjacks Dynasty. So a bunch of different games there. The charity that they're supporting this time around is Active Minds. This offer's valid for 4 days, folks. So if that interests you, use that link, and you can buy yourself a game much cheaper. Like, I reckon you'd probably pay that price just for Farm Simulator at 19 alone, Lemons. Would that be about right?
About that, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm really happy with Humble Bundle. I bought the SIB bundle last week or so, and I've been thoroughly enjoying that one, and gave away some of the extra games in the chat. That's the other thing I like about it. It just sends you a bunch of codes, and if you don't want some of the items, like if you were to buy this and you only wanted a few of the games, the other ones, you can just send them to your friends or put them into Discord and just say, hey, folks, bought this. I don't want to see these games. Have this code. it's great like that. Works really, really well. So yeah, Humble Bundle, folks. Check them out. Let me stop the screen share. Right. The next topic, 10th anniversary leaks. Now, we had a few images shared in the DayZ Podcast Discord, the 87.8 Survivor FM Discord. I'm going to ask people not to. And I'm going to ask people to don't jump on Twitter or share stuff without marking it as a spoiler. Because, there's 10 years of DayZ is a pretty big deal, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah. I guess it is. I didn't realize it was 10 years already.
10 years, December 16 this year. And what I think it's important is for people to allow people to find stuff themselves this time around, or allow the dev team to actually, surprise us. There's nothing wrong with wanting to delve through the files if you want to, Lemons, is there?
Oh, no, by no means, But like you said, it's as long as you keep it to yourself, If you want to share it, if you have some sort of just putting a spoiler on there, having that kind of preface to it, because some people might want to have that for that event, and want that, the anticipation and the hype for it, so.
Yep. And because I've seen there's some shirts and some other stuff. That's about all I'm going to say. In-game stuff. I don't know if they're doing any IRL stuff, but I think it's in everyone's best interest, just mark it as a spoiler in our Discord. I haven't banned it. I've just created a special thread so that, if you want to see it, you can click on that thread and join that conversation. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about just randomly scrolling through and seeing that, oh, great, okay, they're doing that. Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, so maybe this time around, folks, just be a little bit more subtle about where you share this sort of stuff. I know there'll still be people who'll get the videos up straight away and all the rest of it, and we've got no way of stopping them from doing that other than maybe asking them to reach out to Scotty and the team and see if they're happy for you to share it, because allow them to build a bit of hype and without sharing everything. Think of it like when you're dating someone. It's always nice to have a bit of a mystery for what's underneath the wrapping, isn't it? You like that analogy, Lemons?
That's a good one.
I actually saw a good one related to you. Sorry, go for it.
Oh no, what were you gonna say?
Oh, sorry, I was going to say I saw a good analogy for that for your sort of region of the world, Ollie, up there where it's absolutely freezing, and during winter when you go outside, you have to have 10 layers of clothing on and all the rest of it. And it was a guy and a girl, they'd hooked up, and they go home and they're wearing their big overcoats, and it's like 3, 2, 1, and they rip them off to see what's underneath. And the girl's absolutely hot, and the guy's a big fatty bumble like me, and it's like, for the girl. Again, my mind works in weird, wonderful ways, but I got to see what wearing all those layers of clothing was like when I went to Mongolia and Russia and that. And oh my God, you have to put on a lot of clothes to stay warm in those sort of areas.
Yeah.
Well, it's always bugged me in DayZ that you can't layer clothes, Lemons.
Oh, I know. People have tried it, through mods, but it's just such an interesting constraint game-wise where you can do it, but just making it feel right in a sense. But so keep those leaks to yourself. I'm excited to see what they come up with. The few things I have seen look really nice, but I really don't want to see any more. I want to be able to find it, watch the trailer myself, or with everyone here if we want to watch it together, and just enjoy it as it naturally should be. Okay. We don't have Cobra, so there's no Cobra's spotlight. So what we will do is we will jump over to our boy Lemons. Mate, where have you been? What's been going on? It's been a lot, man. I've just really been doing a lot of stuff IRL, so I haven't had that much time to commit to the community. So that's why I'm very happy to be back. Be on the podcast, especially and doing things here and there. So it's definitely a breath of fresh air for sure.
And Zagoria, what's happening with that, mate?
I've been doing a bit of stuff coming up to 123, like a lot of performance things, and just using the new assets they put in, which
Has
are
the Northwest
very
Airfield
cool.
rework been a challenge for you? Made you have to go back and change stuff that you'd done with Zagoria?
Oh, I purposely haven't done anything to Northwest Airfield because I knew that there was, like, for the longest time they wanted to do work for the airfield. So luckily I didn't put any changes there because I anticipated that at some point that was going to be reworked. So
Ollie, you know about Zagoria, do you?
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar.
So, Lemons, just in case there's people watching who are unfamiliar with what's happening with Zagoria, and for Ollie's benefit, do you want to explain what Zagoria is all about?
Yeah, for sure. So Zagoria is a environmental overhaul for the Chernarus map, to bring more content to the console community. So there's a lot of new points of interest in towns and cities and stuff like that, and just kind of trying to change the general environment of what they have in Chernarus. Because one of the biggest downfalls that they have currently with the map is there's not a lot of environmental storytelling. That you don't see much of the background of what happened pre-apocalypse to now, like the government and the military and how the civilians responded to it and all that kind of stuff. So that's where Zagoria kind of tries to fill the gaps and add more to the lore and the storytelling and environmental side of the map. So
oh, that's cool. How long have you been working on it?
I guess at this point we're getting close to the 2-year anniversary, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, nice.
But it's definitely been a fun project, and it's currently one of the largest expansion projects they have on console right now. So it's just nice to be able to provide them a new experience, and especially considering the fact that there's not that much modded content on console, being able to give them anything at this point, is just something new for them. So a new project or a new game to play or a new experience. Because they've all been playing on Livonian Chernarus for the past how many years now. So anything new is definitely a breath of fresh air for the community.
And was the console community happy to have you back, Lemons?
Absolutely. It's definitely my own community. They're happy to see them putting out new content again and trying to update stuff and just working around some of the performance constraints, because definitely within the past few updates there have been a bit of waning performance stats on the console. I've noticed, especially like within 122 and 121, it took a little bit of a dip. So not even just myself, but a lot of the larger servers on console, Conquest and those alike, have had to take a few cuts to some of their stuff to try and optimize for performance. So I've had to follow suit, and it really brings up an interesting constraint at like a design standpoint, because you have to try and make something look good with less assets. So you have to work hard to kind of think outside the box and see how can I take half of what I'm working with to make it look just as good as what I had before. So
can you do DayZ servers yet with console?
You can't do DayZ yet, no, but you can, like, technically they are DayZ that we're hosting through Nitrado, but you can't have anything like hosted independently through your own hardware yet, unfortunately.
Sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, so you can go to Nitrado and pay for your server to be the only one on that server unit.
Oh, you can't yet, but I'd definitely like to have that as an opportunity. I know some servers, when they become bigger in the community and they have more backing from, players, they will have their own separate machines given to them by Nitrado. And that's just something that's given to them, to help with the community and provide more for, performance and stuff like that, because they are larger servers. And at the end of the day, they need that kind of performance. So that's something that's given to them. But at a public standpoint, they're still, trying to work with all that kind of stuff. I can't comment much on some of the things they want to do, but I know within the next few months, there's a lot of stuff they're trying to push for, and it could make a really big difference.
In full disclosure, Lemons is partnered with Nitrado, folks. So if we do have any questions, Lemons is a good person to, if you've got any comments or anything, raise it. And Lemons has the connections to make sure that feedback gets to them. We've been critical of them in the past, but at the same time, they do provide the service. So we need to work with them. And let people know what people want in the community. And, that's part of what the DayZ podcast is about, is trying to help, get the best possible quality stuff for everyone out there. And our beloved console brothers and sisters, DayZ servers, it's great to know that there are some servers that are getting that capacity, because it is important, isn't it, Ollie, to have, all the hardware you need to support a high pop server.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I've been going with GTX, and got offered. What's his name? Muddy Waters helped me out with the second server.
Yep.
So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else going on in the console world that we need to be aware of, Lemons, now that you're back in it?
I'd say one interesting thing is Lyco's the creator of Conquest, which is also another very large community on the console side of things, is currently working on a new Conquest server called Conquest Divisions.
Conquest Divisions or Conquest of Visions?
Divisions, yeah.
Okay, yep.
It's a very interesting concept. I've had a chance to speak with him about it a bit. I'm not sure how much of it I can give out. He is still working on it very hard. He's got a lot of stuff, like he has custom bot integrations where it's going to be like this, like control points and a lot of cool things like that. But it is very cool, some of the stuff he's putting in there, and it's really going to create a lot of new experiences in the console scene, and just new game modes and stuff like that, because as crazy as it sounds, especially on console, using like the Discord bots and stuff like that, they can really use that to create new game modes and create things where it's like you can actually control points of the map, and it will pop up on like an interactive guide and show you like what factions have what parts of the map owned and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool things.
That's pretty cool, man.
There's a one server right now called Unwritten RP, and they were able to take advantage of the logs that are given from Nitrado, where if a player is to walk on top of a letter, like a piece of paper, and they emote, they'll be DM'd by the bot on Discord, so they can write a custom letter that's attached to that piece of paper. So that when someone else walks up to that piece of paper in the vicinity, they'll get DM'd by the bot saying what's written on that letter.
Okay, but I think you might need to arrange for him to come on as a guest in the couple of weeks before Christmas, I think, because that'd be really cool to be able to showcase some of the cool stuff that you console folks are. It blows my mind, Ollie, what they're able to achieve for console with the limited tools at their disposal.
Yeah.
No,
I have no idea what kind of tools you're using. But it's
Lemons?
Pretty much done.
It's cool.
they
Like,
pretty much rely on
it's scraps right
JSONs
now.
and
JSON files,
XMLs, and what else have you got access to now, Lemons?
That's pretty much it. Like JSON's XMLs. We have some of the server DZ.CFG stuff, but we have no init.c, none of that kind of stuff that we can work with. So we have to try and find out the best things to do to work around that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I think one of the coolest things too I wanted to say with Unwritten RP is they have this airstrike system where like within the server's loot economy, the road flare is one of the most rare items you can find, like tier zone areas. And if you throw the road flare at a like a building or anything like that, once the road flare depletes and becomes ruined, it'll actually call an airstrike to that area, like with the contaminated mortar shell.
Wow. That I'm impressed.
Very cool stuff.
I'm impressed. I think we definitely need to arrange to get someone on Lemons, and we do another showcase of some of the amazing stuff that is being done over on console. I know the PC master race people will all be like, oh, ugh. It's like that meme, look at what they have to do to achieve a bare fraction of our power. But when that's all you have at your disposal, that's pretty damned impressive. I'm constantly blown away by it. There's some very, very clever people out there. Okay, let's keep ourselves moving along. We're getting towards the end here now. One more partner that I would like to highlight is Lid Hosting. Lid Hosting is a website provider based in Finland with servers in the EU area. So if you are looking for a decent server, the benefit of why I chose to link with these guys is that the guy who owns Lid Hosting is a DayZ player and modder himself. So if you're looking for someone who understands the troubles that you have as a creator for or as a server host for DayZ, look no further than Lid Hosting. Their prices are pretty good comparison. They've got server bases in Helsinki and Falkenstein. offer all the usual protections. One of the things I love is the free trial they offer, so you can take them up and just see how their server compares to the host you already have. And yeah, I'm a big fan. I wish they service my region, but then again, the guy that Spud hooked me up with locally here in Australia is pretty damn good for the experimental server. We have our own server now, Lemons, but it's only for experimental first person in the Australia region because BI don't offer one, and we saw that was a shortfall. So yeah, but I just shared in chat the link to them, folks. If you want to check them out, I highly encourage you to do so. They've been really good. You can see up the top there, they support us. Connect to 87.8 Survivor FM to stay informed about the latest news. And in return, we support them. And every deal you make, we get a little bit of money that we can put back into the community with some of the awesome stuff that we do. So yeah, Lit Hosting, check them out. Now, something else we're doing, a new thing that we are doing, Lemons, is in conjunction with the DayZ Wiki team, an absolute bunch of bloody legends. Each week we are doing a quiz on the channel. And this week's quiz was around the Mosin. And for the early access gurus, if you give me 1 second, I will jump over here. View your channel. Veterans of early access DayZ will remember the Mosin could attach the legendary but now removed long-range scope. What other attachment could briefly be attached in very early versions? And the options we had were the PU scope, the Atlas bipod, the ghillie wrap, and the suppressor east. 74 people answered it, and the correct answer was the Atlas bipod. Do you remember that, Lemons?
That's going a bit past my time, but I've checked. I played a little bit in the mod recently, but I haven't been able to dive into it and had stuff like that. But that's definitely cool, and I'd love to see a return of the bipod. I think a lot of people would.
So would I. It was such a nice little thing, and yeah, even if I go back to here, there was a few comments on this. Just a couple. I love this one from Scott Dixon. Mosin bipod scope compensator prone on the hill beside Northeast Airfield. The memories. The old sniper hill above the old Northeast Airfield when it had the few military structures. Even the hill looking down into Electro. Yeah. You put that bipod on. I remember doing the AKM with a drum mag, Lemons, and sticking the bipod on that. It was a laser, mate, an absolute laser if you were prone.
Wow. It's funny, though, because I do actually I know the long range scope, and as a matter of fact, it's actually still in the files. They never took it out. They just removed it from the loot economy. But I think the reticle's broken on it. I think it's just a white square when you try to zero in on it.
Well, it was kind of ironic because I remember distinctly Brian Hicks at the time, Ollie, saying that he kind of hinted that it would come back, but it wouldn't be as simple as just slapping the scope on the rifle, which to a lot of us implied, oh, so maybe you're going to be able to take the weapons to somewhere in game and modify them to be able to attach scopes that they normally can't. But we never saw that come to fruition. Modders have done it, but yeah. So no, I enjoy these little quizzes with the DayZ Wiki, and we link to it because it's an undervalued resource that a lot of people aren't aware of. The team are working hard in making sure everything's up to date, and it's all done by volunteers, Lasyen and the rest of the team over there at the DayZ Wiki. Hats off to them. Okay. Guys, we are getting right near the end of the show. Ollie, something we like to do is our individual spotlights. So each week at the end of the show, we wrap it up by all shouting out something that we would like to shout out. It could be something of yours. It could be something you've seen that you appreciate, or even just something even unrelated to DayZ. Like a few weeks ago, Cobra mentioned mental health, which is always a good thing to bring up. But have you got anything that you'd like to shout out, or do you need a little bit of time to think about it?
A little bit of time to think.
Yep. Lemons, welcome back.
The community.
It's a bit of a running gag here, Ollie. The community.
Yeah. We ever end up getting those shirts?
Can you see it?
Oh my God. Yeah, I can. That's awesome.
I'll make that bigger. Yep. It's these are available on the merch store. Oh no, it's on the other arm. There we go. DayZ Podcast on the sleeve, community on the shirt. I had to get one.
Perfect
I had
plug
to
segue.
Get one. Yeah. Happy plug. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Look at the messages just popped up into YouTube chat there. Oh, look at that merch link, folks. Oh, look at all the sweet, sweet items there. But yeah, no, what is something you'd like to shout out, Lemons?
Kind of going back to what I said before, honestly, with the stuff that they're doing on console right now, some of the servers like Conquest and RP are doing amazing things, and I'm so happy to see that people are really trying to push to the extent of what we can do. I'm happy with like what we have access to right now. We're getting a lot of new stuff, especially with the new update, how we can now modify player inventories, which is definitely going to be a big thing. One of the, without getting into too much detail about it, one of the coolest features that we're going to have is we can tie player loadouts to the survivor model. So I could see servers like Conquest taking advantage of that and making it so that before you join the server, you could set what player model you have, and that could correlate to a class within the server. So it's going to be like some sort of primitive Arma-like class system.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Again, I'm mind blown. So I think you definitely got to find someone from Conquest and get them on, and we will showcase what they're doing, because that's awesome.
Absolutely. Just the creativity in console is just something you don't see a lot. And once you see a lot of those people from console moving to PC, a lot of the stuff they do, it's crazy to see the creativity from those kind of people, because they're forced to have to think outside the box if they want to make something good. And then when they already have, when they get all the tools brought to them, when they're finally on PC, they're off to the races, because they already have so much, creativity and stuff to do with it. So big props for the console people.
Exactly, 100%. Nearly all of us started on a console. Did you have a console back in the day, Ollie?
I had PlayStation 3, I think, but never played DayZ on console.
No, I watched a few streams, and it blows my mind how they can do it. It's just I can barely play the game with a mouse and keyboard. I couldn't imagine trying to do it all with just a couple of little analog sticks and buttons and all the rest of it. I know you can do mouse and keyboard on console, but yeah. And it blows my mind that the devs were able to make the game function. Although I don't know, many people would argue that it doesn't function that well on the old gen consoles, but are you surprised? Honestly, are you surprised? But yeah.
One thing I'd like to tie into that too, with the point I was making a console, is I'd like to spotlight a recent feedback tracker post I made regarding getting new corpse models. I know I sent that over to you a while back, Bodie.
Yes.
But if we can get more support for that, also I can send the link over to you if you want. But having more corpse models, like I went over in the feedback tick, gives us more creative freedom on console, gives us more assets to play with, but it also just adds more storytelling to the base game. And I think that's just small things like that can make big differences, even just in the vanilla world, without having to make big overgrown areas and try to make it look like, something in what's it called? Like in The Last of Us, even just simple things like, having a few corpses in vehicles or slumped against the walls and alleyways, I think would make a huge change of tone within the maps. So
I've got it up on the screen now, the screenshot you sent me. Feature request
Awesome.
details, variety of infected corpse models, diverse environmental storytelling, dynamic event groups. I love this concept. I absolutely do. We'll put this in the Discord, folks. But the thing I love, Ollie, and you probably understand it, making a map. It's so important to tell a story. And you said, that was sort of what you had with the entrance to that town. All the vehicles there, so that people, when they find it, it's, really only something that matters for the first time you do find something. But that's part of the joy of a new map, isn't it? Exploring and finding all these things going, oh, this is so cool. Like some of the houses I found in Banov where Cubello had shrunk assets down, like tanks and all the rest of it, to make it look like a little kid's toy army set. And it was such a nice thing to find. It adds a human touch to a bunch of pixels.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah.
Anything you would like to shout out, Ollie?
Hard to pick, but we shouted out a few things earlier, but maybe the people that do the events in DayZ.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Ariana, Chimney, Happy Bombs.
Yep.
I think that's really cool that they put time and effort into creating these fun events for DayZ.
Now, I am going to be a shill, and I'm going to shout out the Spotlight. I've been a bit slack with the Spotlight, haven't I, Lemons? doing my Spotlight interviews I'm talking about here, folks. But what I want to let you all know is that is all about to change. I've got a interview ready to go that will be dropping. But the big one I am working on is the 12 Days of Christmas. And I'm still finalizing, pardon me, all 12 guests. But for those who signed up in the Discord to the Spotlight channel, I do have an updated list of prospective and confirmed guests that I will be updating. I'm just scrolling down to it now. So many. Okay, so this is the plan so far of who will be getting interviewed. And these are all being done offline. I'm not streaming these. So almost everyone will get to see them at the same time. I will release these a couple of days early, members only, for our YouTube channel members, as a reward for all the support you've given us over the years. So you'll get to see them before anyone else. But the first interview that I did was the one and only Dean Rocket Hall. It's about 2.5 hours long, folks, and the few people who've seen it reckon it's one of the best interviews they've ever seen with Dean, because I go right into some of the questions that you all have about, the way that we feel DayZ is treated by BI. Yeah, I asked it. Stud Muffin also had a very personal question. I asked that one too, Stud Muffin. But I'm not going to say what that is. You could all see that during the interview. Even Septic Falcon, I think it was, had a challenging question for him. But I've also done an interview with Wobo talking about it. I'm about to, after this, I'll be interviewing the Doug team, Diesel and Dr. Desync, because for those who don't know, they were the very first ever community server. And most of these interviews, they're not about these people per se, but it's about how DayZ's impacted them over the last 10 years. Now, we've spoken to Wobo before. Dean Hall's been interviewed a lot of times, but for 10 years of DayZ, I feel it's worthy of a milestone. So what we're aiming for is 12 different interviews. I've got Dewan, one of the best modders. Toprek's interested. Eugene Harton's interested. JLK. I'm doing one with Vigilante Gamer. Everyone knows how I feel about him. And also, I'm in talks with DayZ's greatest romance and love story, Fubar Bundy and Alum. Yep, the Alum, the Dick Pics Alum. If you've seen that video, one of the greatest DayZ videos of all time, if you haven't. But just to talk to people about how DayZ has changed their lives. And these interviews will be dropping over the 12 days of Christmas, day spelled DayZ, little pun there. And one will drop each day. Dean Hall's, I've decided, will drop on the 16th of December, which is the 10th anniversary. Only fitting for the biggest name there to be dropped on the 10th anniversary day. So stay tuned, folks. It's a lot of work going into this, but it's a passion project. Make sure you select the Alert Spotlight channel in the podcast Discord. And if you're interested in seeing any of these earlier, consider supporting the channel and signing up to become a YouTube member. Can only do that with YouTube members, folks. It's just the way the system works. Appreciate your support any other way. But yeah, only the YouTube members will get to see them first up before anyone else. You interested in any of those interviews, Lemons?
100%. A lot of those sound pretty interesting, especially the one with Dean Hall.
It was amazing. It was amazing. He was so incredibly honest and open. I showed it to Vigilante Gamer, and he said it's the best interview he's ever seen with Dean. And that he noticed about halfway through, just because of the rapport that I managed to build, he said he noticed Dean's whole demeanor just changed. It was like, okay, I can be a bit more open with this guy. He understands. Like, he said something in there that only another military person most likely would understand. And just little things like that. It was one of the best interviews I've ever done.
The real question is, now that you've done Dean Hall, you gotta do Brian Hicks. Keep it a pair.
I've already done Brian Hicks ages ago. 5-hour interview. Yep. The spotlight on Brian Hicks, part 1, 2, and 3. We played in game, and that's about a 5-hour interview made up of 3 segments. I have actually reached
after the stream.
I have actually reached out to Brian again because I would like to speak to him again for 10 years, just to talk about the impact that DayZ's had on his career, the impact that DayZ's had on the gaming sphere. But I haven't heard back from him as yet, so fingers crossed. But he is one of the biggest names in DayZ. You know who Brian is, don't you, Ollie?
Yeah, I've heard of him. He helped create DayZ, right, in the beginning?
No, that was Dean Hall. But Brian was very closely attached to the project from the beginning as well. He created Survivor games along with a bunch of other. Well, I think it was Soma who actually came up with the idea, and Brian's the guy who had the smarts to make it come to fruition, and they sold that to BI. We actually talked about Survivor games in the interview with Dean, which won't surprise anyone because everyone knows how much I love Survivor games. But yeah. Okay. Let me go down. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost done. Next week's guest, Jemmy Boo. Yes, we're getting a creator on. Jemmy Boo's a female streamer. So I'm quite excited to get her on. She was absolutely stoked to be asked. And if you would ever like to be a guest on the show, reach out and ask. If we can fit you in and you've got something interesting, we'll showcase anyone, won't we, Lemons?
Oh, absolutely. The more the merrier, just being able to show all the nooks and crannies and everything that's possible on PC and console edition,
Yep.
It just shows how amazing of a community we have. So any way we can support with that.
And it's so good to have you back to be able to help with that console stuff, mate, because Cobra and we've got no fucking clue on that sort of stuff. And even just the modding stuff, mate. I know you're primarily console, but you understand the nuances of the PC stuff better than I would ever be able to. I am just a dummy when it comes to that sort of stuff. I look at stuff like what Ollie does and I just go, nah, man, I couldn't do that. Sit there and spin trees to make sure that it doesn't look uncanny valley-ish.
You know what? We got to do a special where we get you and Cobra on console. Do a stream with you guys playing it for the first time.
Mate, I've only got the previous generation Xbox. And it was only one of the S model, I think it was, the real basic one of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can actually play it on your PC because they have it through Microsoft's Game Pass on PC as well.
There you go. Might have to try that. Get on there and get abused by console people.
Oh yeah.
I just walk around with a megaphone going, PC's the master race, PC's the master race. See how many times I get killed, Ollie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Look, thank you all so much. Ollie, good luck with Azalea, mate. Really looking forward to it. 1st of December is the release date.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yep.
And
so something
not release of the full map, but only a playtest. The second playtest.
excited for it, mate. And let us know if you're interested in doing a playtest server in the Australia region, because we fund the server. Because I know it's easy for you guys to do a server in your own area, but to do one for a relatively small player base, we did it for Bitterroot, and we're happy to do it for any other. It's not just, that was something we only did because it's Matty Ice. It's a service that we provide to, reward the. There's a lot of Aussies who do watch me, Aussies and Kiwi, sorry, who do watch the show, and yeah,
yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so let us know, mate. We'll give you access to the server, so you can set up and control it yourself, and then remove it when you're done, which is what we did for Maddie as well. So yeah, we host a full dedicated server here, and yeah, happy to help anyone who needs to be able to use it for playtests and stuff like that. Only during the playtest phase. We won't put a server up afterwards. We'll leave that to the many great communities around here to do that. But just for the playtests, it's really good to be able to do that. We're able to do that thanks to the support of our members and donators and people who buy merch and humble bundles and lead hosting and all the rest of it. Lots of ways you can support the show, folks, just by watching. Everyone, thank you so much. And we will see you all next week for the DayZ Spotlight on Jimmy Boo. Ciao for now.
Adios.
Fear if you try, if you keep believing, like rain falling soft from the sky, I'll tend to